Justin Baldoni and his PR team are facing horrific death threats and private health leaks as legal battle with Blake Lively rages on.
Her crazed fans of Ryan and Blake are out there trying to extort and harm people and do this horrific stuff.
Blake Lively just got exposed for yet another sinister tactic. This time, she's not just throwing tantrums, she's torching reputations.
You are literally one of the evilest people in the world, terroristically. Your Blake Lively campaign is on par with something you expect from, my idiot. Realize, this is sick.
Oh, honey, grab your popcorn because Blake Lively has officially crossed the line from America's sweetheart to a full-blown Hollywood villain. And no, we're not talking about some diva meltdown or a sassy tweet. We're talking about arson, doxing, and straight-up threats to lives. Justin Baldoni supporters? Yeah, they're not just shaken, they're terrified. And Blake? She's still out here grinning on red carpets like she didn't just light someone's career and possibly driveway on fire.
Now Justin's PR team is facing horrific threats. And even worse, his business partner, Steve Sarowitz, just faced this crazy person who committed arson and tried to extort the family by kidnapping his daughter?
Let's be real. Blake Lively isn't some misunderstood wallflower in florals. She's not a soft-spoken feminist icon. No, she's the storm cloud wrapped in pastel who sips champagne while lives crumble beneath her perfectly manicured feet. The woman has turned PR warfare into an Olympic sport. And honey, she's gunning for gold.
But you see them in Wrexham, they're walking red carpets, they're living their best life.
Her PR hello, absolutely fried. And the aftermath, not just some bad headlines. This mess got so real, the FBI had to step in.
That's right.
The frickin' feds. Because this wasn't just petty drama, it exploded out of the courtroom and into full-on criminal territory.
This is tragic, man. I want to give you some updates on what's happening on Justin's side of things, because look, Blake's been out there saying, oh, I have these horrible DMs I'm getting. It doesn't sound like it's as bad as this.
While Blake is out here posing like she's Pinterest's version of Princess Diana, actual people are out here suffering. Real lies, real trauma. Justin Baldoni's entire team, they're dodging threats, trauma, and enough felony-level madness to make a Netflix thriller jealous.
Sources close to Baldoni revealed to Daily Mail that Baldoni and several employees at the agency group set up by Melissa Nathan, had been hit with death threats in the wake of the lawsuit.
Oh, and it all started with a flaming garbage can and a text message that sounded like it was ripped straight out of a horror film. This isn't PR anymore. This is a full-blown FBI case. Buckle up.
Court documents filed by Lively's legal team also included addresses of several of the publicists involved in the scathing battle, leaving them fearful for their family.
On April 28th, someone thought it would be super cute to turn Steve Sawitz's driveway into a bonfire, but not just any fire. This one had accelerants, paint cans, like someone Googled how to commit felony arson and went on a shopping spree.
On what happened here with Steve, because it's just awful.
This wasn't even a Hollywood mansion, just a modest $1,800,000 0-cents home in Highland Park. But Steve, not your average Joe. He's Baldoni's business partner and one of two billionaires in that whole area, a clear target.
Blake's out there signing autographs, living her life, living her best life. And meanwhile, Justin and team are facing horrible consequences. Now, I want to start here because Justin's business partner, Steve Sarowitz, the billionaire who funded Wayfair, which, by the way, important to also note that Wayfair, the foundation, has now folded, as we previously reported.
And right after the flames died down, Steve's wife gets a message like, hey, nice fire. Now fork over $80, 0 cents, K in unmarked bills, or your daughter doesn't make it to graduation. What? This wasn't a threat. It was a straight-up movie villain monologue.
Prosecutors say the suspect committed arson at the billionaire family's home in Highland Park. He then threatened to kidnap the daughter if they did not provide him $80,000 in cash.
And just in case that wasn't terrifying enough, the message added, this is just a warning. More money will be requested later. Because obviously nothing screams civil dispute like threatening to kidnap someone's kid and torch their house.
If you fail to comply, we will take your daughter's name and she won't make it to graduation. At that point, we will ask for more money.
And these psychos weren't done. They texted the actual daughter, naming her college, her sorority, saying, you're not untouchable. Oh, and the next fire, it'll start from the inside. I mean, who does that?
They say a garbage can was lit on fire in the driveway at the house around 3:25 a.m. on April 28th. It was filled with paint cans and other flammable accelerants, and it burned to the ground, damaging the lawn.
So who's the genius behind this terror campaign? Eduardo Aragon, 25 years old and dumb enough to use public library Wi-Fi for his threats. Like, if you're planning crimes, maybe don't use the kids' corner at the local library. He confessed, BTW, charged with arson and multiple counts of harassment and intimidation.
If you guys are prepared to spend $100 million to ruin the lives of Miss Lively and her family, we are sure you can spare a few for your daughter.
And guess why this all even started? Because Blake Lively couldn't handle a civil lawsuit like a normal adult. Nope, she turned it into a personal Hunger Games, complete with doxing, threats, and chaos. And yes, she doxed people.
Blake, what? This is insane. This is insane what this is now all caused. All because he called you sexy? All because of the dumbest stuff on earth? Because you got some bad press?
Her actual court filings included the home addresses of Baldoni's PR team. This from the same woman who cries about privacy and yells, "Leave my family alone," on every interview. Girl, the hypocrisy is deafening.
How much harassment this is? This is the only hope that do is treat you like scum, flesh-eating, vile creature that you are and cancel you. This person should be ashamed of themselves. And I'm sure they know who they are. Sure they're seeing this.
Jed Wallace, a 51-year-old PR guy, got roped into this circus because Blake's side decided he was leading a Twitter army. Spoiler alert, he wasn't. But thanks to the stress, he landed in the hospital with a heart condition, and Blake's team later dropped him from the case like he was a typo. Damage done.
In the wake of his legal woes with Blake Lively, with one crisis PR boss allegedly having his private health information leaked. Okay, so are they talking about Jed Wallace? I don't know.
Then there's Melissa Nathan and Gen L 2 PR professionals just doing their jobs. Until Blake's team threw their addresses into court docs like they were Yelp listings, now they've had to install security gates at home because some actress didn't like a TikTok interview.
We see the damages are all on the side of the victim here. Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Melissa Nathan, Jennifer Abel, Steve Sorowitz, everyone on that side and their friends and families and everyone who worked at Wayfair are suffering, while the elitists, while the golden goose, the people who are the special chosen ones.
And don't even get me started on the one with 2 toddlers. She's living in straight up fear. Like, I can't leave the house because my kids might be in danger. Fear. All because Blake exposed everything. Not just their names, but their families too.
What they're doing to private people through their actions has caused despicable situations. Look at this. They'll bury you. Dear Tag, this is a message from Melissa. We can bury anybody.
Meanwhile, Blake is just out there twirling in gowns and smiling for the cameras like nothing ever happened. But this isn't just backlash. This is felony level harassment. It started with court filings and ended with the FBI at people's doors.
Then Steve informed him that the center was the person who left the president outside. Another message. Obviously, at this point, the FBI got involved, and they used the technology and warrants to isolate the sender, and that's where they were able to find the person, the alleged person, Eduardo Aragon of Highland Park.
And still, the media paints her as the victim. Why? Because she said the word empowerment while wearing a pantsuit, because she knows how to smile for a camera. Meanwhile, Baldoni's team is installing security gates and recovering from trauma. But let's pretend Blake's the brave one. Okay, so while Blake Lively is out here sparkling on red carpets, sipping champagne like she's floating above the chaos, Baldoni's team is literally receiving messages that say, "You are not untouchable." These aren't just rude comments. These are coordinated, threatening messages tied directly to people's homes, their kids, their real lives. And the receipts? Oh, they're everywhere. One message told Steve Sowitz's daughter, "You can upgrade your security all you want. That still won't stop us." Excuse me? Who writes that unless they're scripting the next Saw sequel? These weren't trolls. These were terrorists in the digital age, organized, obsessed, dangerous. Another one literally said, "It ends with you," like some unhinged horror movie tagline. This girl's just trying to go to college and live her life. And now she's the subject of death threats that echo real-life arson attacks. You can't make this up. Meanwhile, while everyone else is choking under the fallout, Blake and Ryan are off playing Barbie and Ken. The Wayfair Studios, dead. The Wayfair Foundation, torched. Not by flames this time, but by Blake's smear campaign. These weren't shady businesses. They were helping marginalized creatives. But God forbid someone outshines her on the activism front. Justin Baldoni? The man just wanted to make make movies and maybe raise some awareness. Now he's basically off-grid in Hawaii. Like, he's avoiding bounty hunters. One day he's prepping for a press tour. The next he's hiding from drones. That's what Blake's courtroom meltdown did to him. And Steve Sowitz, the billionaire who just wanted to fund some community-driven films, is now a headline, a target, collateral damage in Blake's ego crusade. His family, scarred. His daughter, threatened. All because someone lit a fuse and didn't care who burned. And let's not forget, Melissa Nathan, Jamie Heath, Jen, they've been insulted, doxxed, harassed, their homes fortified like bunkers. Jen Al was called everything from a terrorist to pathetic scum for what? For doing PR. And Jed Wallace, the guy accused of weaponizing digital armies, was never even properly served in court. Just had his name blasted across headlines like he was the Joker. Career in shambles. Health wrecked. But Blake dropped him from the case later, so that makes it okay, right? It's wrong. Now Justin's entire team is under siege. Their families are scared, their kids can't go to school without fear, and while Blake walks red carpets and waves like she's the crown princess of morality, they're wondering if another flaming trash can will show up at their doorstep. That's what this civil lawsuit turned into, and while she's out here glowing in designer gowns, let's not forget Blake and Ryan were also on that P. Diddy party list. Yeah, those parties. The ones wrapped in lawsuits and investigations. And now, suddenly, Blake's got amnesia. No comment. Girl, you were sipping cocktails in Club Catastrophe. Oh, and the health leaks? Actual medical records exposed. Not rumors, not headlines, documents. While Blake sobs about protecting her family, her team is out here gutting other people's privacy like it's a PR hobby. But sure, Vogue, tell us again how she's a hero. Let's not sugarcoat this. Blake launched a legally sanctioned attack on Baldoni's entire support system. She used lawsuits like weapons, turned publicists into targets, and weaponized her fandom like digital assassins. And now that it's all blowing up, she's hiding behind a glam team and a glossy Instagram grid. This wasn't petty drama. This wasn't celebrity tea. This was a deliberate, strategic takedown that escalated into federal crimes. The FBI is circling. Investigators are connecting dots. And while Blake tries to keep smiling, her world is starting to smoke. Justin's team didn't just get targeted. They got destroyed. Reputations ruined. Projects canceled. Lives endangered. But sure, let's all clap for Blake's Met Gala look. Let's pretend a red carpet can erase a federal investigation. The truth, it always leaks. You can shadow ban the hashtags, mute the creators, drown the noise in perfume and pearls, but truth has its own algorithm. And Blake Lively, yours is unraveling. This wasn't a feud. This wasn't press. This was war, waged in courts, over text, through fire, threats, and fear. You played victim while pulling strings. You doxed, leaked, smeared, and strutted while others picked up the wreckage. But the receipts, they're everywhere. And no stylist, no publicist, no Vogue feature is gonna sweep this under the rug. The pastel mask is off, Blake. And what's underneath? It's not empowerment. It's exposure. Blake's Barbie mask officially shattered. And you better believe the next chapter of this chaos is only getting darker.